No, you're not lost. As cloudy as the road ahead may seem, if you keep your heart open and do your best lovingly and diligently, the pieces will fall into place. Unknown friends and opportunities will fall onto your path. Do not be rash. Do not be in a rush. Breathe, stay calm.
Trust the forces you feel but cannot see. Kinzer MB. It's interesting how the mind will trick you into thinking that these insignificant thoughts, insignificant positive little sparkles of light inside you, the ones where you're like, maybe I should go talk to that person. Maybe I should say hi. Maybe I should tell her I like her outfit. Like those little parts of you that you ignore, I think like that's the true core you. I don't know if I'm just an optimist, but like I genuinely believe we're all good by nature, but then like there's varying degrees of nurture. Not that it's like, just cool 50-50 split across the board. But what I'm saying is nature and nurture are definitely a part of the factors that make up us in our totality. Like in most like TV shows, movies and everything, we always have that one lovable like anti-hero or like villain. So like someone like Rick, who like many would feel in his universe are like bad, but then like when you really know Rick, you see why he's doing what he's doing, because he's like depressed. It makes him more human or whatever. But even though we see his reasonings for it, it may not be the best way to go about it. We're made up of many different parts. So nature and nurture, I feel like your soul is definitely in there, whatever the soul may even be. Who even knows? And then it's the body you inhabit and the brain that acts as your filter, right? Because the body you have will shape how you are treated in the physical world, but that won't really matter on the inside. But it's harder because if you have like, it's not even a bad body, it's really just what you're meant to do with your body. But let's say you have a quote unquote bad body, right? Where your body is, let's say, you have more fat than you do muscle, right? Say you're like 20%, 25% body fat, whatever, right? You may see yourself as like bad, and that which means that like you would receive certain experiences because of the kind of physical appearance you have from other people who are not past a certain level in their journey yet. So like, for example, like bullies or like getting bullied because you're like overweight or something. Pretty much all that is that person not getting over an issue they have in their lives. It has everything to do with them and not you. Because really, all I feel like the soul wanted to do when you came here was that to give you certain lessons. Like I've been hearing this from like many different resources, like listening to like the Chris Williams podcast. I was just listening to the HigherUp Podcast, yeah. And like I found these videos where they're talking about the mind, negative limiting beliefs, how to get rid of suffering, like what's the true purpose of like why we're here, or like how we're supposed to live as people. And it was interesting because it made me think of our human experience and like what exactly is human experience. The way that like I see it, you're coming in, right? Say you're like a fresh soul, you're just wandering around. You yourself are inherently good. We're all coming from the same God, whatever. We're all coming from the same source, right? So because we're coming from the same source, we all have the same potential, we all have the same essence within us, but it just has to be split across different forms, which I keep hearing, right? It comes in the form of like Jesus, only seeking salvation through Jesus, kind of seeking salvation through that which you know is right. Like the idea of like what is good and what is evil, I believe totally exists. I feel like you internally would know, but things can skew your vision. But back to the point, different parts of the human experience. You have the body, which is how you're going to have to deal with the world, right? You have your mind, which is how you're going to have to deal with the confusion and misunderstanding of yourself because of the world, right? Because of all the things you're getting in your childhood and then going through your adolescence. All these things that happen to you that you're going to store is because of the body, and because of the mind not understanding the body. If you don't have that good connection or mental awareness, the message from your soul is going to get lost in transmission, or even the other way around, that the body will be saying like physiologically you'll be angry, and that will just mean that a boundary has been crossed, or that something's not right or not good. And then the mind if you don't have a disciplined mind, like trained, like if you don't have a way to seep through and see it for what it is, you'll take what the mind's saying is the truth. I really feel it can't speak unless you're in a certain state of mind. And I feel like that's why people recommend meditation so much, but I also feel like that's why like these super rich people or whoever take like ayahuasca retreats and they take like DMT and shit, because all it is like the ego death and everything. All it really is dismantling whatever narratives we have in here, so that this transmission between like spirit, soul, the true you, the higher self, whatever, God, Holy Spirit, whatever, that is whatever's in us needs to communicate with the mind, so once that we can understand it completely and try to actually bring it out into the real world through our bodies. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so interesting and it's so beautiful how the mind, body, and soul all connect, because your body carries around your mind, and then the soul decides to inhabit the body. Because I feel like that's also where like emotions could come from too. Like the different things you experience as a human come from the combinations or like the permutations of what could happen between your mind, your body, and your spirit. So like something happens to your body, right? So let's say you get cheated on. The connection from the body to the soul is when the body feels something. Let's say you don't even get the mind involved, right? The body feels something, it might send it as fear, panic, anxiety. That's the words that we can put it in because we have natural language. But whatever emotions you are feeling or whatever you feel immediately gets transmitted in, and then it's just like your knee-jerk reaction. It's like, and it's never really to retaliate, I feel like, unless you feel in danger. But then even then, the mind will always come in if it's not disciplined, which most aren't. Mine isn't either. It'll come in and then it'll like mess up that communication almost. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense that like humans are like predisposed to like be resistant, to be fearful, and to like doubt, right? Because these things helped us survive. I guess the question really is, humans exist, but like there has to be more than humans. I don't know if I'm sounding like on a fringe or something, but like there has to be more than humans, because if humans existed from this long and they were just animals, but if we somehow, right, evolved over time, then that would legit mean that we either inhabited those before, old humans before, or they just existed and then we came into them, had an experience, and then moved on, which I think is crazy too. But again, coming back to the point, like say you have your body's trying to tell your soul something, right? And if you're okay, you're gonna understand what that really is. Because I feel like the true you cannot, it just is. It doesn't take things personally. It doesn't like, I don't know. I feel like it would get it. But the mind in the human body, that's another thing. The body, it's wired to see things differently because it's wired for survival. I feel like the human experience quite literally is just trying to teach us survival. Like it's trying to teach you survival and an adaptation, how to adjust to a changing environment, how to deal with its challenge, but also to, like from a soul aspect, you can say it's learning how to navigate and how to, reconnect with yourself. Because the way the human body and mind is set up, it doesn't make sense to me. Like the way it is that we're lazy naturally. Like we don't want to do stuff, especially with like all the technology or whatnot. They're both contradicting each other. I feel like the mind is always contradicting the body and always contradicting the soul. Or even the other way around. Like I feel like the different parts get mixed up at times. But I guess my other argument then is that the mind is most difficult for most people. People that like, I feel like would even watch this, it's probably the mind. Because like our minds, speaking just from experience, the mind is so accurate at depicting what can go wrong, thinking about different moves and different times, and then the way that there's so many different minds that work in so many different ways. It's just like it's set up by design that like if you listen to it too much, you're going to go crazy. You're not going to take the actions your soul knows you need to take. It's not going to grow and move forward because that is not the human nature. It doesn't want to, right? It doesn't want to, but it will. I think that's the ultimate lesson. Not that it won't or that it's not used to. It's used to. That's why we have such a capacity for it. Humans as the mammal, the body, whatever, they were made to do whatever was necessary to get it done. And then the mind developed as a way to make sure that happened. It's like a failsafe. If you're an animal, it's like it's natural. If you hear a strange noise, you're gonna be worried. Or like if you say you're in a community of yourself physically that they're shaking, and then your brain creates some story to tell you that processes it, makes sense of it, and puts it into something that you can understand up here for itself. And then it tells you like, oh shit, something's over there, we should run, we should be on high alert, we should elevate the heart rate. What the brain does to the body, say elevate the heart rate, release certain chemicals, make the body go, right? It's just so fascinating, like the way things are connected. I just went on like a long tangent, didn't even eat my food, had Chipotle, got these flies on my house, bro. Shit's ass, but we gonna get there though. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but like I just started getting into like listening to podcasts again, actually like hearing this knowledge, being able to process it for myself and then make my own analysis of it. It just took me some time to like come back to myself because I've always had these crazy ass thoughts, crazy ass theories, but like knowing how to structure them and even access it on a daily basis, I guess I still have to learn how to do. It's like the way I'm starting to see things is like unlike anything I've ever heard before. Like I don't think I've heard anyone talk about how the mind, body, and soul are in like a holy trinity. In the way each one interacts with each other, it's different things you feel, different things you process. But even the way that you think is a privilege and is different from everyone else, and in and of itself is designed to keep you safe. It's not designed to let you live. Like I feel like it's a first world problem. I feel like it's a first world problem that like we have the luxury to not have to go with our more natural human inclinations because of the fact that we have such wealth through it by horrible means. I mean, I'm in the US, so shit, I'm only here because they took some of that wealth. So you know, they they relocated some of that wealth, but I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not a history buff. But I'm gonna eat this Chipotle, and I'll see you guys next time.